Hi Biff, how's it going?
It's going very well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. You got lots going on right now in this October month.
Yeah, October's great. It always seems to be busy for all the bands that I know. You know, everybody gets back to their fall touring schedule, and seems to get really busy in the fall.
So I see we got some Canadian dates in October. How's that gonna
Yeah,
go?
I'm really excited. Yeah, we're gonna go to the Maritimes, which is wonderful. It's always kind of for a lot of bands here on the West Coast. It's hard to get over there. It costs a lot of money to basically to get the fuel in place, and sometimes it just seems like years will pass before we'll be able to do another show. So I'm just thrilled.
Now let's say for touring, is it getting easier for touring? Traveling and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know. It really depends on the band, I guess. I mean, you know, petrol is so expensive. A lot of bands that used to enjoy just taking buses and having the ability to tour quite extensively now find that they absolutely cannot, no one can afford the fuel. So bands have to be kind of strategic. A lot of bands don't really want to go in a van, or they can't afford to, because then they would therefore have to, try and cram themselves into a hotel room and stuff. So in that way, it's a little bit harder. But for a band that's just starting out, if they do have the funds or the ability, it's probably easier because when I started touring in bands, we didn't have Facebook or Twitter, so
Right.
we just kind of had to rely on wishful thinking that people in advance who we may or may not have mailed a letter to would put up posters. And now it just seems so much easier.
It's moved on like a century of stuff, just in a few years with Facebook. How we can promote stuff
It's
so quickly.
incredible. Like I can't believe it. Like honestly, I didn't get a computer until 2006. Prior to that, I mean, a lot of bands had a MySpace page and stuff, and that was pretty cool. And for whatever reason, Facebook just kind of swept it all up, and bands started utilizing that as a platform for promoting their stuff and their music, and it's worked really well for bands.
Now, Biff, there's something here. You got Biff Naked Forever, acoustic hits, and other delights coming out. Is this something we're going to be seeing?
finally, finally, we actually started making the acoustic record about a year ago, because my guitar player JD Ekstrom and myself just started doing acoustic shows. It was just easier. Number one, because it was just him and I. We would get in the back of a Cadillac with his guitar and just roll, and it just worked out. I enjoyed it a lot more. Um, I don't know. After I got out of chemotherapy, and I was about 3 weeks out of a surgery in 2009. The Promise record had just come out, and we did a national rock tour with my full rock band. And honestly, I just I was so disheartened. I was so disappointed, I guess, in myself, or I didn't feel very good. Just I think physically, I think I didn't realize that I was still kind of sick, and it just didn't feel natural for me to just be jumping into the mosh pit anymore. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel it just didn't feel correct. It was like something had shifted in me, and I think, quite honestly, I just really wanted to sit down on the stage and talk to everyone. I felt very disconnected from my audience, and in only a couple of years, I think that I changed so immeasurably, and my audience had changed. We all grew up together, and I'm a full-grown woman. I don't think I ever thought I was before, but I just felt full-grown, and I felt like I just wanted to sit on a stool and just talk to everyone and sing my songs, and talk about what we were doing when we wrote the song, and just go for it. And that's kind of how the acoustic album was born also. So it feels really natural. It feels really good for me.
And like this, your fans get to see you in a more relaxed environment.
Yeah, the shows are so well received. I mean, we have such a good time, and unfortunately, if no one shuts us up, I mean, he and I have done a 3-hour show before, just because nobody told us you got to go, or they had a curfew or whatever it was, because we just get caught up in it, and the audience and even the staff, we all just kind of get lost in the moment.
Like we see on Wikipedia, we see a Jakarta album. What's up with that?
I don't really know. That was a record that I did with Jason Darr, and what we did was we made a house record. Basically, because we could, we started fooling around with his DJ beats at the end of the Promise tour, and we wound up going into a studio for 10 days and recording 10 dance hits. And they're filthy. Lyrically, they are filthy. They're so funny to me because, of course, it was collaborative between Jason and myself. And he's filthy. He's got the dirtiest mind in the world, but he's very hilarious. I, of course, think this is high, humor. And so we recorded this record. And I think we intended to kind of put it out, but then it was like, well, it's not like I'm actually going to tour it and run around the planet singing whatever, these very provocative songs. They kind of don't, they were a moment in time. They're very funny to me, and but they're very forward lyrically, and it's probably nothing that I would probably feel all that comfortable performing. But some of them, I think they're really good songs, and I'm ultimately very proud of the record, but we were just kind of horsing around, and it would just kind of happen by accident. Someday I think that we'll probably have it available to people, probably in the new year. Because I don't have a website, of course, and once my website is up and running, well, then I think that we'll probably include that in our discography that will be listed. I mean, it's kind of extensive now. I'm an old lady. I've been at it a long time. I've got a lot of records available. It's just a matter of prioritizing the website and stuff.
And our lovely Biffy, when is the website going to be fully launched?
Oh gosh, golly! I wish I knew. I've been so. I wish I was more computer savvy. I started learning Twitter before I knew how to send an email. And so I'm pretty comfortable over there on Twitter. And for me, when I started Twitter, it was essentially very much a microblogging site. And microblogging back then was kind of different than it is now. Now it's almost like people sending little text postcards of their day out there to the universe. And it's really changed us, I think, as a society. It's really interesting how communication has just evolved for people. There's there's an intimacy on Twitter that was previously reserved for your comrades, your friends, and now it's like, everybody feels for you, and everybody knows your moods and your triumphs and your disappointments, and it's really interesting to me. Just even anthropologically, it's a real snapshot of what our society is going through, and as a result of that intimacy, I haven't really, because I don't know how to make a website. I basically am relying on my friend who has a company, and I kept telling him to wait. Just wait. Just wait. Because I wasn't ready with my own content, and I wanted to get pictures ready and all this other stuff, and time just kept passing, and the next thing you know, I did a record deal in Canada, of course, with Reliant Music, and they're going to be putting out the record Bif Naked Forever, and of course we'll have the other stuff available too. And so just working with them in conjunction and utilizing their website has also, been immensely helpful for me. And I've started to try a little harder at my Facebook. I'm not very good at my Facebook, again, because I'm so comfortable over on Twitter. Even my dog has a Twitter page. That's how cockamamie comfortable I am on Twitter. But I have been, trying to utilize Facebook. And, of course, we will revive and revitalize the MySpace page, which I think currently has a picture of my chemo hair. I always laugh. I always look at them and go, oh, God, chemo hair, because it's such a moment in time for me.
And how many hours does Bif Naked spend on Twitter and Facebook per day?
Well, I don't go on Facebook as consistently as I should, I'm sure. I know that there's lots of different bands who actually hire people that do their computer stuff for them. Of course, I am not one of those, like money people. I would work for food, basically, and always have. So I've always done stuff myself, and that's how we kind of started out when we were young. It's just do it yourself. And Twitter, I tend to do Nicholas's tweets first because I like to just, kind of be supportive to the community and what's going on for rescue dogs and stuff like that in the community. I really think it's important. And but at the same time, I don't ever want to be preachy because I'm not a preacher. I'm just an artist. And then when I go on my Twitter, then it's usually about 45 minutes after I started with his, and then I usually by the time I get off of there, because I like to promote a few things like our local animal shelter. I like to promote Red Cross a lot. I like to promote this organization. Right now we're doing Save a Turkey. So by the time I get all that stuff in, and then I try and put up a song for my friends or whatever thing. I don't know why I started doing this word of the day and food of the day, but I did it one time, and then so many people kind of reacted to it that I did it again the next day. And so that's how that started. I used to do yoga on Twitter all the time. I did a Monday and Friday night. I would do like a close the day, open the day and close the day thing. And I had to stop. It was just getting misinterpreted, and I had a stalker, and it was just too overwhelming for me. So now I can't do yoga on Twitter.
And maybe a good thing that you don't.
Because of my crazy stalker.
Yeah, you have to watch yourself for that stuff.
In his bedroom or whatever he thought. Good God. Yeah, it's interesting, trying to find a balance and trying to just be compassionate about people who who are misinterpreting you or who want to misconstrue, or it's very interesting. People are always so interesting to me.
On the subject of, like, let's say cute animals and stuff, did you happen to hear, that there's, cats running for mayor for certain places? Ever hear of that
No,
stuff?
I've never heard that.
I've heard about it recently, and let's say you should maybe make your dog run for mayor in your town.
Oh, good heavens! Yeah, I don't think so. Vancouver is such an intense society. Really, I mean, Vancouver needs a very resilient individual to be the mayor of Vancouver. It's a pretty unique set of needs for a city like this. It's a very small city with a very privileged society on one hand, and on the other hand, we have a great deal of a portion of the society that needs a lot of support and a lot of our compassion and care. So it's very polarized here. There's not a huge middle ground. So I don't think I would ever want my little Nicholas dog to be the mayor. It would be too overwhelming for him.
I guarantee.
He's a senior, so I think that he should just enjoy the rest of his days just being, having belly rubs and eating treats. Could all have that life.
Yeah, wouldn't that be the life?
Yes.
Let's say for this upcoming album that you're releasing, when is this going to be hitting the shelves?
Well, it's so different how things are these days. I think what they generally want to do all the time is just digitally make it available digitally. And currently, what we're talking about in a meeting just yesterday was December.
Okay.
So I like that idea personally, although it's not a popular. It doesn't seem to be a popular time of the year for artists to release records because everyone is concerned about competing with all the Christmas things and stuff. But in my brain, every day is Christmas, basically. So my guess is it's going to be December, and I sure hope so.
Life on the road for Bif Naked, when you go on the road, how's it treating you?
I love it. I love traveling so much. It's just such a joy, such a privilege in siblings, and we're very different. I'm a square. I am a square as they come. I live like a nun, basically, and I go to my retreat to my room after the show, and JD, he's very he's very gregarious, and generally will stay and chat with the promoter, and he has friends everywhere. He knows every musician. People know him from his rock band Crash scene, and he knows everybody. Everybody you can imagine. Like, he knows all these rock stars, and all these rock stars show up to the show basically to see him.
And let's say the importance of music videos today.
Well, I think that they're very important because everybody likes to watch videos on their computers. Really, I think that that's kind of overtaken a lot of other mediums with which people used to watch videos from bands and artists. And it's so easy to make them now because you can simply use your phone and shoot your little video and put it right up on the internet 2 hours later if you so choose. It's very interesting, and I think it's a wonderful thing. It's beautiful, and it creates little directors out of people who wouldn't otherwise have wanted or ever thought they would have the ability, and it brings out everyone's creative side. So I think it's immensely important.
I wish you the luck and success of 2012 and 2013. For making something great. I mean, multi-platinum artist. You got to keep on going into that.
Aren't you nice? Well, I wish you the best for the new year and the rest of this wonderful year too.
Well, that's awfully kind of you, and I really enjoyed this chat.
Oh, fantastic, Keith. I'll make sure that I spread the word.
All right. Well, you have a great day, and thanks for this nice interview.
Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.